Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will talk about the unseen forces that are constantly shaping our lives, often in ways we don't even realize. So let's just dive right in with one of the biggest, oldest questions there is. Are you really free? How much of your life is actually your own, and how much of it is being guided by the invisible currents of the world you were born into? To really get our heads around this, we're going to look at two major thinkers who basically framed this entire debate. On one side, you've got Emile Durkheim. He believed that the group is absolutely essential for us to have any order or meaning in our lives. But on the other side, there's John Stuart Mill, who argued that no, the individual has to be protected from the group. Let's start with Durkheim's case.
Okay, first up, let's explore this view that society is everything. For sociologists like Emile Durkheim, society wasn't just, a bunch of people hanging out. To him, it was a living, breathing thing with a life of its own.
Durkheim said our lives are shaped by what he called social facts. Think of them like invisible currents in an ocean. They were here long before we were, and they'll be here long after we're gone. They guide our actions without us even thinking about it, from the laws we obey to the unspoken rules of how you're supposed to act at a family dinner.
So what's the glue that holds all this together? Durkheim had a name for it: the collective conscience. This is the shared moral compass of a society, that deep-down sense of right and wrong that bonds a community. It's what gives us that feeling of belonging.
And Durkheim saw this social glue changing as societies evolved. In older, simpler societies, you had what he called mechanical solidarity. Everyone was pretty much the same, did the same jobs, and that similarity is what created unity. But in modern societies, we have organic solidarity. We're all super specialized, right? Our unity comes from the fact that we all depend on each other. Kind of like how all the different organs in your body have to work together to keep you alive.
Okay, so this is the absolute crucial point for Durkheim. Without these strong social bonds, we are in serious trouble. He warned about a state he called anomie. It's this condition of normlessness where the rules break down and people are left feeling totally aimless and disconnected. For Durkheim, too much freedom wasn't liberty. It was a fast track to chaos.
But what happens when the group becomes too powerful? What if it's not chaos we should be afraid of, but control? Well, let's flip the coin and look at John Stuart Mill, who had a powerful counterargument. For Mill, the real danger wasn't too much freedom, but way, way too little.
Mill's starting point was the absolute, total independence of the individual. This one sentence from his book On Liberty is one of the most powerful defenses of personal freedom ever written. Basically, your life is your own, period.
And from that idea, he developed a really simple rule for society to follow: the harm principle. Society can only step in and mess with your life for one reason, and one reason only: to stop you from hurting someone else. That's it. Not because they think it's for your own good, and definitely not just because a bunch of people don't like what you're doing.
So you can see the conflict here, right? While Durkheim was worried about social order breaking down, Mill was worried about the exact opposite. For him, the real threat wasn't some individual running wild, it was the crushing weight of public opinion forcing everyone to be the same.
He gave this fear a name, and it's a chilling one: the tyranny of the majority. This is what happens when the biggest group in town uses its power to squash everyone else. There's a great saying that sums it up: democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what to have for lunch. Mill said we need to be protected from that, just as much as from any king.
Okay, so we've got these two big, opposing ideas on the table. Durkheim wants order, Mill wants liberty. So how does society actually get us to follow its rules day to day?
The answer is something called social control. Now, this includes the obvious stuff, right? Laws, police, courts, that's all formal control. But the real power, the stuff that works on us every single day, lies in the informal methods.
These are called informal sanctions. A look of disapproval from a friend, a sarcastic comment, or even just being ignored. Those are negative sanctions, and they're designed to punish us for stepping out of line. But it works the other way too. A simple word of praise, a smile, a thumbs up, those are positive sanctions that reward us for fitting in. And you know what? These everyday pressures are often way more powerful than any law in the books.
But what if I told you the most powerful tool of control wasn't a law, or a look, or a comment? What if it's an idea? An architectural design from the 18th century of all things, from a philosopher named Jeremy Bentham.
He called it the panopticon. The design is genius in a really creepy way. It's a circular prison with a guard tower smack in the middle. The guard can see into every single cell.
But the prisoners can't see the guard, so they never ever know if they are being watched. They only know that they could be watched at any second. And here's the psychological twist. The possibility of being watched is enough. The inmates have to assume they're always being observed, which forces them to control their own behavior. Power becomes totally automatic. You don't even need chains or physical force anymore. Now fast forward a bit. Another philosopher, Michel Foucault, comes across this old design and has this massive aha moment. He argued that the panopticon isn't just a blueprint for a prison. It's a diagram for how power works in our modern world.
And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That principle is everywhere. Think about it. CCTV on every corner, software that monitors what employees are doing, the social pressure of getting likes online, or the fear of being canceled. We act as if we're always being watched, because, well, in a lot of ways, we are.
Just as Foucault said, modern power doesn't always need walls and bars. Sometimes all it needs is a camera, a screen, and that constant feeling that someone, or some algorithm, is watching. We have, in a way, become our own prison guards.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Durkheim thought social control was necessary for a good life. Mill saw it as a massive threat to our freedom. So in our modern digital panopticon, we're left with this huge question. Where do we draw the line? Thanks for watching my video. If you liked the video and learned something from it and want to share your opinion or your experience, you can comment down below, and I would love to see your thoughts and experiences. Subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when I upload more videos like that. Have a good day. Bye.